Hello, Senior Stoner fans. It's the real Senior Stoner back at you for your Kandypen session and Budsy bottle by Puffco, Diamond Dab of the Day. Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining me. As always, since I know you're going to enjoy today's video, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button. Tell everybody to join the Senior Stoner family. Send a like, and I respond to all comments. Well, we all face obstacles in life. All of us. But did you know that obstacles are there just to be turned into opportunities? Because that's what successful people do. They overcome setbacks. Let's discuss. Well, we've all been in those shoes. We've all looked at situations as failures. And it distorts our reality, frankly. The distorted view can prevent us from seeing the situation from what it really is. And without a clear picture of a situation, it can often be impossible to pivot, solve, or make progress. You see, a setback or failure doesn't have to be the end of the story. In fact, it might be exactly what you need to get where you want to be. Really successful people handle setbacks. Let's discuss. Well, any successful person will tell you that they've experienced setbacks. It goes hand in hand with trying something bigger and better. Setbacks happen, so expect and accept them when they come. Embrace your badge of honor and own it. Allow yourself time to acknowledge your feelings of disappointment with a setback, but put a time limit on how long you're going to let that focus last. You might feel disappointment, but redirect that emotional energy towards progress. Failure sometimes causes us to lose perspective. So anticipate what will cause us to lose ours. What's the blind spot out there? You see, really successful people manage those blind spots. And objectively, we've got to find a way to size up what happens. Was there an event or a decision that created a change? We need to often be researchers and actually write down what worked and what didn't. What factors created the setback? Was there money involved? Was there interest or not enough interest? Seeing facts on paper, void of emotion, can crystallize the facts. So be objective. Successful people find a path to progress no matter what. A changing course can be overwhelming when you have too many decisions to make. Feeling overwhelmed leads to stagnation because doing nothing seems easier in the moment than making big decisions. So instead, maybe ask yourself, what can I do tomorrow or next week to make progress? Start there. We need a long-term direction, but it might evolve rather than being an aha moment. A lot of experience or knowledge does not close a door. In fact, it defines what must be learned. Setbacks and disappointments often create self-doubt. So we've got to learn to manage our internal thoughts so we stay focused on the future, what we can do next. We've got to give ourselves the credit for doing important work and trying something new. You see, after all, a setback is just a setup for a comeback. We've got to embrace that failure. Most people hate the failure. Most people don't have what it takes to win and will be constantly impaired by the challenge and disappointment on their journeys. Doing something that you can fail at means that you're doing something worthwhile. If we didn't push ourselves to grow into something new on a path of ease and comfort, then life would certainly be very boring and uninspiring. What's even more awe-inspiring is just what failure can do for you. Failure can be one of the most incredible drivers in success. So really, when you fail, it's a sign that you shouldn't have been going in a direction. Of course, you recognize early in your goal or vision that it isn't exactly the best thing for you. Failing might hurt. It should hurt. But you should only proceed in a different direction if you don't feel it within your core to go forward in your initial direction, despite the failure. That means that vision of success has to be compelling enough to drive you forward, even if it's hard. You've got to reaffirm after you've fallen that you're still interested in going through the pain and whatever devastation you've got to go through to get to your goal. In fact, these things strengthen our investment and our will to win. Because if you're willing to fight for your goal, even when you have been put through pain and struggle, then you tell yourself that the world has a worthwhile goal in store for you. And you tell yourself that you're worthy of the fight. You see, it's not just about overcoming setbacks or dealing with the failure. It's telling yourself that you're worth it. You've got to affirm that belief, despite the negative feedback, the judgment of others, and whatever happens in life. You've got to be resolute in your goals. In fact, that's a gift of failure. Failure is just a sign for us to understand that we need to grow more. Some people have a difficult time in comprehending that failure, well, it'll mold and shape you into a person so you can reach your destiny. When you're sharpened by the challenges thrown at us, the despairs of failure, you're allowed to grow and become a better person based on that. So look beyond the immediate pain and hassle and realize that it might be only through these setbacks and failures that we turn ourselves into the people we really want to become. Our failures, our setbacks, lead to a very compelling story. Through our biggest obstacles, the most incredible stories of success are told. They're the ones that shape our life and frankly inspire others. It'd be very sad to look at one's life, having lived it, only to realize they never failed. That would likely be a life of very, very limited movement and mediocrity. Without failing, no one would have a great story to tell or a noteworthy accomplishment to talk about. How we respond to setbacks and failure actually doesn't just inspire us and define us. It inspires everyone around us. What do you do in the face of failure that will motivate and inspire others? How do we show up when faced with the ultimate defeat that will impact the lives around us? Well, fans and critics are watching. Looking at failure in a different way can be one of the most profound changes that we'll ever make in our life. The moment of the setback sucks, but what we can gain from it might just transform our lives. Know that we're interested in long-term rewards of becoming the people we want to become. We've got to find the joy in failing because the knowledge of such a thing means that we're even closer to our end goals. And anything worth doing or any goals worth having are worthy of failing at. If you can't fail at something, then likely it's an uninspiring and fruitless path. Remember, fall more today so you can succeed tomorrow. Look back at your life and notice just how far you've come from failure. Your biggest accomplishments. This has been the Real Senior Stoner, talking about setbacks and failure and how it's actually a good thing in life. I know it sounds counterintuitive, but it's not. Thank you all so much for joining me today to discuss this topic. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to send likes, and I respond to all the comments. I just put the dab in the wrong hole. That's as good as sucking the wrong end of the honey badger. You're all gonna rewind and look at that one, I bet. Okay. but you come from failure to success. Here's our Kandypen session. Here we go. Cheers. And let the dab train roll on. Cheers, everybody. Oh, this is tasty. Very tasty today. The Kandypens session, along with the Budsy bottle and diamonds. Thanks for joining me, everybody. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and do what you're supposed to do. Cheers and have a wonderful day. Thanks for joining the Real Senior Stoner.